All right. Welcome, everybody, to Rick's Eastside Pub and Grill. This is the first edition of the UW-Whitewater Football Quarterback Club show. My name is Josh Goldberg, again, joined by Bill O'Leary. We handle the radio broadcasts on 105.9 The Hog on your FM dial, and we're going to be there each and every week for you and host of this Quarterback Club show. And excited to be back for another year of Whitewater football. Glad to have all of you aboard and new video and streaming things. Hopefully that'll work itself out, but it looks pretty awesome as of right now. So anybody that wants to catch the show afterwards can do so on all the social media stuff for Whitewater. So welcome, Coach. Good to be back. Coach Rindahl, how excited are you for the season? I guess let's just start fall camp, summer, long wait from spring camp, and now we're in week one, right?
Best time of the year right now. Football's here. Everybody on Saturday. Yep. Right. We weren't playing on this past Saturday, but I know everybody else was tuned into college football and the week 0 games, and here we are. We're in game week. It's Monday, 6 days out before we play in the Perk on September 6th. And, Josh, you are the voice of Warhawk football. Let's not forget that. Okay.
Oh, boy, that's all he needs, Coach. Give him a little.
Best time of the year right now.
All right, so let's start from the end of last season, which we don't need to relive that, but there's been a lot of changes, and when you had media day, I kind of referred to it as tumultuous, right? There was a lot of coaching changes, decisions that you had to make, things that other assistants had to make on their own as well. And I guess kind of describe that process for you. And it seemed like every time you turn around, either, you had to make a decision, somebody else is taking a different opportunity. You're having to go find people, interview people, and find maybe not the best fit, but the right fit for this program. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I think, going back, coming out of last year and, as a leader and good leaders, you're always trying to see around corners, right? You're trying to anticipate, have the next move ready. Potential issues here. All right, let's solve them. Let's put the fire out and let's have a plan, right? Like that's how you should always want to go about it. So had some staff changes. We're able to hire Caden Murphy as our offensive coordinator. Coach Murphy came from 7 years of Division I football. He's ran an offense the last 2 years at Midland University where he was coaching the quarterbacks and running the offense. So I got a call about him from an alum, or let me say that again, not an alum, a colleague that I coached with that really vouched for Coach Murphy. After you interviewed him, as you talked with him, you realized he was the right fit, and he was exactly what we were looking for a leader on the offensive side of the ball. Then you had Coach Hookstead, who came from Dubuque, who's a Dubuque Hall of Famer, played basketball, played football there. He's also a whippet himself. So he's been in the coaching profession for 13 years. He's coordinated the offensive side of the ball for 8 years, calling plays for 5. So you knew Coach Hookstead and his family, his wife Kelsey, wanted to come back to Whitewater. And he ended up being the right fit as well. He could coach tight ends. He's coached every position on offense besides quarterbacks. So you knew that you could plug Coach Hookstead in any room. Mike Martis, our tight ends coach, who had been on staff for 2 years in the offensive line room, played tight end at Indiana State, the Division I level. So you knew that he had experience not only coaching offensive line, but playing and coaching tight end. So he kind of jumped into that room. The other one was Alec Ogden, who I had conversations with. He kind of talked about always want to put the whistle around his neck and be a familiar
coach. Name there.
Alec was our quarterback in 2023. He actually was like a GA type coach in 2022. So a familiar man win the program. He's got the institutional knowledge, earned a degree from Whitewater. So, but to have a quarterback in the room, Alec was doing concrete and knew that wasn't the world he wanted to go into. So he wanted to coach. So, we weren't quite sure what room he was going to be in, but knew having a quarterback and a receiver background, he could find a spot. And then Blake Smithback was with us, but Blake left us right there, I think in middle part of March. So we needed to replace Blake, and we brought in Bryce Kenzie in as our running back coach. So that's how we filled out the offensive side of the ball. And then we, had one spot on defense to fill, which we went with Bryce Cross, who very enthusiastic, energetic, very knowledgeable football coach, coached on defense, but was at Winona State for 2 years and kind of was the exact fit that we needed on the defensive side of the ball with Coach Cortez and Coach Martin. So a lot of ups and downs, but you kind of really were anticipating things. as coaches came in your office and said, hey, I'm interviewing for this or interviewing for that, you want to, as a leader, always get ahead of it and have a plan. And so trementalist or whatever word you use, Josh, could probably be accurate, but time will tell. I feel confident with the people we got in place and looking forward to, putting it on the field on Saturday.
What is that like for you? Because I know it's Division III football. Some of these people are going on to some pretty good programs at the next level, Division I, FCS, whatever. You can't take that as much as you want to keep good people in-house. Is part of your job also to help not only the players grow and improve, is that also to help the coaches improve and ascend to whatever level that they have as well? So it's got to be kind of a double-edged sword, because you're losing good people, but you're also sending off people to a next level, which they might not have ascended to had it not been for this program.
I mean, you care about the coaches as much as a person as you do as a coach. So without a doubt, if there's a better opportunity for them out there, I think that's my responsibility, and my job is to help them. Now, if it's not the right job, well, I'll be honest with them and I'll give them the facts. And this is why I think that. But I think that is the responsibility. Your players, same thing, right? You're helping the players go on to be a great accountant, be a great teacher, be a great businessman, whatever the case may be. And it's probably pretty similar from a coach's standpoint too. I think that's your job as a leader.
When you evaluate after a year like this, is the evaluation process any different after a year when you tied, with 3 other teams in the conference for a 4-3 record? Do you look at things harder than you did when you made the Elite Eight and you went to Wartburg and came really close to a semifinal berth? Are there anything different? Did you notice any differences in your processes, or how hard, or did you, go through any things a little bit more fine-tuning wise than you did in either of those years?
I mean, probably. I mean, your attention to detail, your urgency, that all picks up. I probably became a little entitled coming out of year one. I probably thought I was a better head coach than I truly was. I do think we took steps in year 2 last year as a program in certain areas. Obviously, we didn't do it overall as a team that year or last year, but I do think we grew and we improved in certain areas of our program. So, but you care about the details. You self-assess. You look yourself in the mirror. How is your messaging? Are you consistent with it? Are the players understanding what you're talking about? Are you being a good teacher? All those things, and you just try to grow and improve. I don't know. I mean, I try to do that every year, but obviously your attention gets
up a level.
Yeah, when that happens, and we know in our league the margin for error is so small, and you got to have your best every week. And I told the players today, right? We got 10 games on our schedule. We got a 10 Tuesday practice. Number 1 is tomorrow, and we can't waste it, because you got to take advantage of each opportunity you got to get better, and that's what we got to do.
With the expanded playoffs and the NPI, do you look at that sort of a stuff when you are trying to find opponents, or is it become now just hard enough lacrosse has only 9 games, and they don't have a team to fill out their schedule, I would assume, because nothing worked. They couldn't find anybody, couldn't come to terms, whatever. When you are trying to find opponents for this program, is there the right combination of factors? Are you just trying to get anybody to fill the schedule? Does it matter if it's D3? Does it matter if it's D2, NAIA? Or you just want somebody that you won't have to, spend a lot of hard-earned dollars that you raise to run the program to send everybody down to Mary Hardin Baylor, which is a great experience 2 years ago, outside of the 3-hour lightning delay and storm delay that rolled through and sleeping in the airport for you guys. That still must have been a great experience, which you also want to give the kids. So how do you balance all that when you're trying to fill out that non-con schedule, which we have another trip down to Belton, going to go to St. Xavier, and then you got Carleton coming in this year?
My NPI playoff reference is Coach Peter Jennings at Oshkosh. He's all in on it. He's the voice of reason at our head coaches meetings, so I would go to him on that. I haven't put too much credibility into that. To me, we got to get 10 games. That's hard enough. So if it is an NAIA school, if it is a D2 school, we got to get 10 games. I grew up in this program and in this league you got to win conference. If you win conference, you get that 11th game to go to the playoffs.
Right.
So will that bite us in the butt in the future? I don't know. We got this year's schedule full. Next year, we're still looking for a week 3 game non-conference. So those challenges are still there. To say that I'm going to say no to a NAI or D2 school because of playoff rankings, I don't think I would do that. I think I would sign that dotted line, get that game scheduled for our student athletes, and they can play 10 games in a year.
Right. That's what they're looking to do. They came to play. They want to play 10 games a year plus, not less than 10. So that I think they've done a great job getting these 2 new places and keep up the magic with getting somebody for next year, because that's what they came here for, is to play at Whitewater. So good for you, Coach.
How's the roster shaped up? I know you're still kind of whittling things down, even though we're going into this week. You announced your captains over the weekend as well. How did that process go, and how is that ongoing? And these last couple of decisions that you and the staff have to make, or just you, have got to be the toughest ones.
Yeah, I want to first shout out to all the supporters and families and friends that came out on Friday for our fall camp kickoff, watched the boys scrimmage and practice. I mean, there was a heck of a crowd there, and tailgating and all that. And I just thank everybody for that. Chancellor King was able to come. Thank him for caring about Warhawk football and being there to support the team and announce our 4 captains. But yeah, we came out of fall camp. It was a great fall camp. Gave the boys off on Saturday, and then the staff and everybody was in on Sunday. Had to start getting the roster cut down. I think I made 20 cuts yesterday. On Sunday, had 4 more that I had to do today. Then we still got 2 left. So that's the worst part of my job as a head coach is letting people go. But that's what you sign up for. And we got to have a 112-man roster, and that's the reality of it. You got a good program like Whitewater. You got a lot of good student athletes that want to be a part of it, and I got to be the person that's got to break the news to them. But that's what I signed up for. So we're not collecting talent. We're building a team. So you got to make sure you put the right pieces. You get them on the bus. You get the wrong guys off the bus, and you make sure you get them in the right seat. But feel really good about the roster. Think we're in a great spot, and excited to take the field with them on Saturday.
During the year, we're going to have scout team players, offensive players, defensive players, and some specialists as well. Tonight, we have the 4 captains. We'll talk to one of your assistants as well before we get to them. Do you want to introduce the captains that you and even then talk about the process of how they came to be at the forefront for this year's Whitewater football team?
This year's captain process, just a little bit different than what we've done the first 2 years. We started a football leadership council in the spring, very liberal, had a lot of people in there, but very intentional with that. Want to make sure we identify certain people, best players, different position groups, different age groups. So you're very intentional about who we wanted in that football leadership council, and just really taught leadership and taught what that was about. Got through spring ball. Basically opened it up to anybody that wanted to be a captain. Shoot Coach Rindahl an email or a text. I don't remember what it was. Let us know why you want to be a captain. And then coming out of spring ball, we wanted the guys that wanted to be captains. They had to fill out a resume and turn that in. So we ended up having 14 guys apply to be a captain, put the resume in, got on the ballot. We rotated them through the stretch lines, through fall camp. So everybody got the opportunity to be out there in front of the team. And then we shook it out, and players voted. 4 guys emerged. You had Ethan Gallagher, senior linebacker, Pat Lippe, senior receiver, Lucas Sadler, senior defensive lineman, and then Carter Sessa, who's a junior, and I'm going to say that he's a junior cornerback, was the 4th captain for us.
Okay. We're going to have all those gentlemen who are over here on the show in just a little bit. We'll loop around. We'll come back. We'll talk a little about the roster, Coach, because I know a lot of people are dying to know some of the starters at some of the positions, quarterback, and also talk about Carleton for week 1 that's coming up. So we'll have you back around the end of the show. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. That's Coach Chase Rindahl. All right, we'll get up assistant coach Bo Martin here on the show. He is an associate head coach, helps out with recruiting, special teams coordinator, and also he's a linebackers coach as well. So please welcome Bo Martin.
How's camera look?
We got a best side
zoomed in
forward
right
here.
on you there, Coach.
Coach Rindahl first and you second. That's all good.
I got cheeseburger on my team.
Coach Martin, how are you?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good. Happy to see you. We came up in the pregame, talked a little bit about how excited we are to be back and be here. You got to be even higher up than that because it's pretty excited. Now, Coach put down on their associate head coach. That a move up from where you've been in the past?
Yes, that is a new title this year.
And how are you feeling about that?
It's an honor. It really is an honor.
What do you think that's going to entail?
It's helping Jace with a lot of stuff, whatever he needs help with.
Okay, so you're the man that's going to be his wingman.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, outstanding. All right, let's do this stuff because we do this. You've been here for a while now, Coach, which is great. We're thrilled to have you. Let's do it for the first time people listening. Where are you from, Coach Martin?
Originally from Wheaton, Illinois, about 2 hours south of here. Graduated from Wheaton North High School back in 2014.
Okay, and then
I came to UW-Whitewater right away. Played 4.5 years, graduated in 2018. Played linebacker, graduated in 2018, joined the staff immediately in 2019. Was a defensive line graduate assistant for a year, then got promoted to linebackers coach in 2020, and I've been coaching linebackers since 2020.
And it says in there you left briefly for Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah, I was there for a little cup of tea, about
Okay.
6 weeks.
Got a wave, and then you said, I don't like Minnesota very much. I'm coming back to
It
Wisconsin.
was too cold.
Attaboy.
Didn't get above freezing the entire time I was there.
I got to get out of here.
Yeah, it was too
get
cold.
down south where it's going to
Too
go.
cold.
All right. Tell us about that. Well, let's go back to Wheaton. Tell us about your family, Coach.
Yeah, so I got right now. So me and the wife got a wife, married for 3 years. We live in East Side of Madison. She works in Middleton. We got a dog, no kids yet. Then my family's still back in Illinois. Dad still lives in Old Wheaton. Got siblings all over the country, but most of my family's still in Illinois.
What is your wife's a teacher?
My wife is a occupational therapist in the school district of Middleton.
Okay, so she goes that way and you come this way.
Yeah,
when
it's
you go
kind of
to
right.
work.
It's kind of right in between.
Yeah, you guys picked a good geographical spot for the
right
middle
off
of
the belt line. So
Okay,
it's
so
nice
you can
to
get there quickly. Good for you. How long have you been married?
We've been married for 3 years.
Newlyweds, aren't that? You're kind of
Yeah, it's flying by.
And she's good with football. She knows how much you're
She
into
doesn't.
it.
Oh, she doesn't know anything about football, but she knows. She's
She
good
knows
with-
you
she's-
do. So
She's good with the life, though.
all right, good. She knew that going in.
Yeah,
You've been kind of been. Was she a Whitewater girl? Where did you meet your wife?
High school sweethearts.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, boy, we'll be
Yep.
telling that story for a long time, Coach.
Yep.
Good for you. All right. So you're the associate head coach. What are you in charge of? It says recruiting and special teams. You're also the linebacker coach. Run through a little bit of that. What's the
Yeah.
linebacker responsibilities?
Yeah. So I get to coach linebackers. Got a fantastic room. Gonna have 14 guys in fall. Got a great group of guys that work their tails off. So work through those guys every day in practice and meetings. On the field, whatever it is, during game in the box. Then in terms of recruiting coordinator, that is just overseeing all the recruiting. I mean, really, each of our position coaches recruits their own position.
Right.
I'm kind of just in charge of organizing like the game day visits and doing the fun compliance paperwork that
Yeah,
you gotta do.
highlight that paperwork. That's always a highlight.
Yeah, that's always a highlight.
That's what you get for associate.
Yeah,
Head coach. You're the paperwork
More
coordinator.
Excel files and paperwork than I've ever had before.
The worst part of anything you have
yeah.
to do.
Yeah,
So when you've got a kid that plays defensive line, coach goes out and he talks to him. You don't do it geographically. You do it by if there's a kid that plays a
Yeah.
position, you send
So
out.
everyone's got a position, right? So I'm in charge of like DuPage County in Illinois.
Okay.
I'm in charge of like maintaining that relationship with those high schools,
Okay.
right? And getting their recruits into our database. So every coach has a area they're responsible for managing that area. But
Okay.
in terms of evaluating and recruiting, it's all positionally. So I talk to linebackers, O-line coach Hookstead talks to O-lineman, right? Cortez talks to D-lineman. So it's a little bit of both. You have an area. We're in charge of maintaining that relationship with that high school, making sure our files are up to date,
Right.
getting their players. Then once our players are in our system, each position coach then goes through and evaluates those players and then starts to develop that relationship within their position. So I only talk to linebackers from all over. Usually it's within a 3-hour radius.
Okay.
Wisconsin, Illinois, some Minnesota, some Iowa.
But going through the captains and we get a lot of people from Chicago on up the 3 hours mostly goes that way. I mean, I know
Yeah.
geographically you could go further out, but we do get a lot because there's a lot of talented kids down there.
Good football, and it's cheaper to come to school in Wisconsin than it is to stay in Illinois.
So you got a lot of selling points.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask these guys when they come up here about well, let's go back to you. What brought you up here from Wheaton, Illinois?
Yeah, price tag for sure.
Okay.
Winning tradition for sure. And I I had a few high school teammates that were older than me that already came to Whitewater. So when I came on my visit, obviously seeing everything, right? Seeing the tradition, seeing the campus, seeing facilities, right? Meeting the coaches, and obviously having the relationship with some of the current players already made it a really easy decision.
Because you knew people, they knew people, they got you in the doorway, and let's go. Yep. All right, what special teams are you in charge of? All of them? Are you in charge of one particular one? What are you in charge of?
This year, I'm running punt.
You're running punt?
Yep. Coach Cross will do our punt return. He's our DB's coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach Kenzie, our running backs, will do our KOR. Then Coach Martis will do our kickoff. So I just run punt, then oversee all of them, just making sure that we're all on the same page,
right,
on a philosophy standpoint, organizing meetings, all that good stuff.
Okay, new people, the punt team. So that's good. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we're all different people from last fall, but we had this entire staff in the spring. So this is the second semester we're running our units. But yeah, I did punt return last year. I've done punt in the past. I've done all of them. Okay. I've done punt before. So I took punt over from Coach O'Grady. Coach Martis, he took kickoff over in the spring. And he was a tight end back in college. He was on kickoff team. He'll do a good job. Coach Cross, defensive guy. He's taking over punt return, doing a hell of a job with those guys. Okay. Then Coach Kenzie, our running backs coach, he's done KOR in the past. He was a returner when he was in college.
So he can speak from his own opinion about this is how you do this, or and make this adjustment.
Yep. And schemes are schemes. Or we're going to be simple. We're going to be sound.
Good at it. That's what you have always been good at.
Be simple.
Right. Punt return, we catch them. Yours, we get a good snap. We block. We run down and cover the field. And go.
Hopefully we get Teller Vasey a few more this year.
Hopefully. Punt. Got a guy, pretty good punter.
Yeah. We brought in quite a few specialists this fall camp to compete. They did a heck of a job. We got 3 guys really right now that are all kind of competing for that starting punting job. A few things will go into that. For me, it's how fast can we get the punt off?
Right.
I don't want to get that thing blocked.
Yeah, you got that stopwatch going right there. Yes.
Yeah. So we're in a good spot specialist right now. Brought in some guys. They competed their tail off this fall camp. We're not there yet. We never will be, but
because you got to start, you got to back up, but it's a fluid situation as to who it might be, and that's
absolutely
where it's going to go. Okay,
we graduated both our kicker and our punter from last year, so
you got big holes to fill.
Absolutely.
But Coach talked at the press conference that Adam seems to be doing a pretty good job.
Seth Adams had a heck of a fall camp. Super high ceiling. He's done nothing but get better and more consistent since he's gotten here. He's got a leg. It's impressive.
That's exciting. I'm happy to hear that because it's going to be not that the last 2 guys were bad, but when they leave, you're always going the question mark.
And he's a heck of an athlete, so it gives a little freedom on punt to do some fun stuff.
Boy, that sounded to me like a fake punt's coming. I'm going to make a note of that right now. I'll say, well, Coach told me at the quarterback club. No, that is tremendous. All right, Coach, we'll probably have you up here some other time, but it is good to be back with you, and very nice to see you again.
Pleasure back.
Thank you, Coach Martin. All right, that's Bo Martin, Associate Head Coach, Recruiting, Special Teams Coordinator, Linebacker Coach. Thank you. All right, Coach, who you want next? Do you want you first? All right, Mr. Gallagher, come on up. Ethan Gallagher, one of the captains from this year's team. I think we've talked with him in the past as well. But congratulations on your captain nomination and selection, and look forward to obviously seeing what you can do again this year and calling your name quite a lot.
Right, looking forward to that.
Get right up there and be loud.
Get up there and talk, be loud. They don't want to hear me. They want to hear you. All right. We're going to do this like nobody's ever met you because you've been here a couple of times, but there's new listeners and new people going on. So we're going to go from the top. Ethan Gallagher, where are you from?
I'm from Homer Glen, Illinois, but I went to Lockport High School, which is right up the road.
Okay. Geographically close.
Yep.
Was that a school choice or that's just when you go to for
your that
school?
Was a public school.
How big a school is that?
My graduating class was 1,000, so the school population was about 4,000.
Not many of us in Wisconsin can identify with a class of 1,000. Holy man!
See a lot of jaws drop when you say stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's like that's bigger than most of our schools, let alone be a grade as we're going along right now. We're not going to have full meet the press because I got a lot of stuff in here. I'd like to not bring up the Go Bears thing, but I do like to talk to you about your other National Honor Society and your brother playing at Platteville, but we'll do that some other time. Tell us about your family other than the one that tell us about him too. Tell us about your family, please, sir.
Yep. Mom's a 5th grade teacher, so she just started school back up again.
She's thrilled, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know if thrilled's the word, but my dad's an electrician, and I got a younger brother who's 18 months younger, 2 school years apart. He plays linebacker this year at Wisconsin Platteville.
This is his first year?
This is his second year.
Yeah,
Going into
so
his second year.
Was he, let's see, how do I put this nicely for FCC regulations, kind of a jerk about last year's result, or would you pound him into submission if he gave you a hard time?
In the same, he didn't play, so he didn't have.
Hard to be talking about slack when okay.
He didn't have too much to say.
Well, we won't give him anything to inspire him because we do play Platteville again, so we don't want to give him anything going along the way. Okay, outstanding. What other sports did you play when you were in high school, Mr. Gallagher?
I played basketball and I ran track alongside with football.
And you were pretty successful in your football.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, drop that one in. What did you do with your football? How'd your team do?
We won a 8A state championship.
You won the 8A state championship. That's kind of a round of applause right there. That's fabulous. All right, good for you. And you played linebacker at a school that ginormous. Did you ever play on offense?
I did a little bit.
What did you play?
I played receiver.
You did?
Yeah, 3rd down, 2-minute drill kind of situation.
Because you were kicking people's butt, blocking them, or you were actually catching passes?
No, catching passes. I was a little slimmer back then, so
I'd like some footage of that.
Just by a couple pounds.
That's good. I'll bet you were a valuable part. And you also played in track?
I ran track, yeah. I ran and jumped.
100, 200, all of them?
400.
400?
Yeah. And
the worst race in track you ran?
Yeah, easily the worst race, yeah.
Oh, because you think it's a sprint and you get to that 3rd corner, it's like, is this ever going to get over?
Yeah, it's about 97%, and then you leg out the last 100 at 100%.
What were the jumps that you did?
I did triple jump.
Oh, so the footwork, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was crafty. I did 2 years, so I started after COVID.
Okay.
I guess after COVID. I jumped junior, senior year.
You had to have a good coach, though. I mean, to go from not knowing what to do to do that, you got to have somebody who knows what to do.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, it literally is. For those of you that don't watch track, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, but it's like big side of beef like him going down the track 100 miles an hour. It's quite a hop, skip, and a jump. All right. What brought you to UW-Whitewater?
Yep. So I had a coach in high school who played and coached at Whitewater as well. His name was Coach Kishline, Pete Kishline. Quinn Kelly was here at the time too, who's also from Lockport. He was long snapping. Okay. Young coaching staff, which was enticing to me, as you know, that was similar to what I had in high school. Great business school. You know, the stars kind of aligned. It was pretty straightforward for me.
Okay.
Recruiting
outstanding.
Yep.
Good segue. What's your major here at UW-Whitewater?
Business analytics.
Ooh, that's a nice big word. What does that mean in understandable English?
Yeah, it's like turning data into decision making.
So the boss comes to you and says, "What do you think we ought to do here, Gallagher?" And you say,
"Here's our sales data,
and
make something out of it."
Yeah, here's sell more of these. Don't build these. Okay, good. That'll be good.
Something like that.
Well, you forgot more than I'll ever know. Okay, and I told you this when we're going over on that side. Ethan Gallagher, I've been calling your name for this going on the 4th year now. Thrilled to be doing it. What did you put on your resume that you think might have influenced your teammates to vote for you to be a captain? And don't say you're a great leader. That's too easy.
Yeah. I put a combination of both athletic and academic, accolades. And part of that, too, was like 100% attendance at lift and meetings. And I haven't missed snaps of practice in 3.5 years or 3 years. So I think a good combination. I've been on the dean's list every semester. I've contributed for a couple of years now. I played different positions. I've been a part of seasons that were a little lackluster and, based on our standards, as well as some that were a little bit better than that. So I've got a good wide range of experience amongst different seasons. And I think I spent plenty of time, in a leadership role, not as a captain, that prepared me to kind of lead from the front.
I would have to say that if you put that down in that sort of, and I think they'd know what sort of passionate person you were. That's pretty influential. Any of those things would show what a good leader you are, and they have seen you play, so they know that the play part of it is awesome. All right, needless to say, like most of my interviews, I could go for hours, but that wouldn't fit into the program. Ethan, pleasure to talk to you again.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day Saturday.
All right, that's Ethan Gallagher, one of the captains. All right, Patrick Lippe. Thank you, Ethan. Come on up, Mr. Lippe. Have we had you on the program yet, Mr. Lippe? Is this the first time? All right. I like this. This will be good. Coach is just going to give you the third degree, just like he just did to Mr. Gallagher.
Usual good sport. That
yes.
would be what I expected
that's
to
right.
say there. Yeah. All right. Patrick Lippe. Where are you from, Patrick Lippe?
I'm from Port Washington, Wisconsin.
So you're our lone Wisconsin captain on the UW-Whitewater football team. Any pressure there, Patrick?
No.
All right.
Get right
good.
up on that microphone.
Yeah, be
and
loud.
talk loud.
Pretend
Wow,
Tony
I'm
Lucas
sure.
is yelling at you in the outfield, so you can be loud. Okay. All right. Where are you from? Port Washington. What sports did you play at Port Washington?
Yeah, so I went to Port Washington High School. I played baseball, football, and basketball.
So you're a 3-sport guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you like football the best. What did you do in baseball?
So baseball, I played shortstop my freshman year, and I played center field my junior and senior year. And actually got first team all conference my senior year, which is pretty cool. So
Yes, it is. Not hard to believe watching you catch passes. I imagine you do the same thing to a lot of fly balls. So good for you. How about with basketball?
basketball, we struggled a little bit, but it was still cool to compete and just be a part of a team.
Yeah. And what did you play? You're the point guard. You were the shooting guard.
I was actually a power forward.
Okay, so you did win the rebound. You rebounded with tenacity rather than size necessarily.
I tried.
That's all they can ask you to do. All right, tell us a little bit about your family back in Port Washington.
Yeah, so I got 3 siblings. Older brother, he played at NDSU as a receiver.
Okay.
Older sister, she went to Oshkosh. She's a nurse. And then I have a younger sister that plays volleyball at Aurora.
What position did your brother play at NDSU?
Wide receiver.
He did. So
Yeah.
that's it, kind of in your blood.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
bit.
All right. And you say your mom's a nurse. Where at in Port Washington?
Sister's a nurse in Milwaukee. Mom's a principal at a middle school out in Port Washington. And then my dad's a salesman.
Outstanding. Okay, good. What? We already talked about sports. I got a little bit out of it. What drew you, Patrick, to UW-Whitewater?
Yeah, I would just say the culture, just coming on a game day visit and like seeing just like all the people that are there and the culture and the energy was just super cool. Obviously great business program, great culture, great team, very high standards, and also the facilities. And it was close to home, and I'm a little bit of a homebody. So
Right.
I like
mean,
that.
you're how far away from Port Washington?
Hour, 15 minutes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's easily doable.
Oh,
All
for
right.
sure.
Good. And they come and watch you play all the time, I'm sure.
They do, yeah.
Okay. All right. Outstanding. What is your major? You already led toward business, but what particular is it?
Accounting.
Okay. Very good school at UW-Whitewater for accounting, so you came to the right place.
Mhm.
What do you aspire when you get done? Are you going back to Port Washington? You're going to go someplace else? What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, so right now I think I'll probably go to the Milwaukee area.
Okay.
And I mean, with accounting, there's a lot of opportunity in it. So I go to sales, I go to supply chain, I go to marketing, I could go into accounting. So there's a lot of different avenues with that. So I kind of like the opportunity with that. So I
Wide
think-
open.
Wide open. So I think I'll go back to Milwaukee, do accounting for a year or two, and then see where life takes me.
Right. Because, I mean, you're not home in Port Washington, but you're not far from. And there's a lot of stuff going on in Milwaukee.
For sure,
So
for sure.
We'll go with that one. All right. Same line. I told those guys this already. Patrick, what did you put on your resume that you think influenced your teammates to vote for you as a captain?
Yeah, I mean, like kind of like what Ethan said, like the experience and being here for 4 years now, contributing in different avenues, both special teams and on offense. I think a lot of people like seeing a familiar face.
Absolutely.
Also just like leading not only in football, but the weight room, supporting people, challenging people. I think that's a big thing for people to have someone lead them that will support them, but will also be like, hey, let's get better. Let's do this. So I think that a lot of people like that.
And you're good at that?
I would say so.
Not only are you the only Wisconsin guy, you're also the only offensive guy.
I am.
So you'll be making all the calls out there in the field, whether the coach wants to take the penalty or not.
I guess so.
Okay. All right. So tell us about what makes it when you're thinking about when you get done here, what are you going to look back and say? And I don't want the record to say, what are you going to be most proud of?
I would say just the relationships. I mean, just being around the guys, building relationships with different people. I mean, on the field and playing is awesome, but I mean, going back to the locker room, hanging out, looking back at this 4 or 5 years down the road and be like, hey, that was freaking awesome. We won those games and,
Right.
and we gave everything we got. So,
Right. And there are people here that have been teammates for years that you're going to be the same thing.
absolutely.
Well, you have Alec Ogden as your position coach now.
I do.
And I know what a live wire he is because he's harassed me all the years he's been here. So practice has got to be never a dull moment.
No.
Okay, give me an example without getting coach in trouble.
No, practices are awesome. And he's super knowledgeable and he's always ready to fire us up and get us right. So he's an awesome coach, and I can't say anything but good things about him.
And you've always been good blockers. I'm sure he's going to continue that. He's working on all the minute things you have to do to be better receivers, but catching the ball, making the right blocks, going the right spots.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to get you in the right place.
All right, one last thing. It says your unique skill is juggling. I want a background on how that started. What's the most dangerous thing? Like, have you juggled like knives or flaming sticks, or like let me talk about that. Do you bust up the teammates? Say, hey guys, just look at that. Like, do you bust into it when you're bored? Like, how did this come about?
Yeah. No, so as a receiver, you got to have pretty good hand-eye coordination,
yes.
right? So I'll go into one of the rooms, like a brick wall, and I'll throw tennis balls, and I'll just practice hand-eye coordination. And eventually it kind of turned into juggling off the wall, juggling with one hand. I don't want to juggle too much. The most I've done is 3 tennis balls, tried footballs.
Okay.
That didn't go too well, but nothing too dangerous.
All right. So we won't be seeing you at like Barnum and Bailey anytime soon or anything like that. All right. That's it. Okay.
I mean, I would try, but
Wait till after football. Wait till after football
please.
gets done. Excellent. All right, Patrick, great getting a chance to talk to you. I can't wait to see you play on Saturday.
awesome.
All right,
Thank
that's
you.
Patrick Lippe, one of your captains for this year's Whitewater football team. All right, Lucas Sadler, come on up, sir. We've had him up on the program a couple of times the last few years.
All right. We have talked to you, but that doesn't mean we're not going to do it again. Lucas, tell the listening public where you are from.
I'm from Chesterland, Ohio.
Chesterland, Ohio. And where geographically is that?
It's a northeast suburb of Cleveland.
So it's up. It's
Yeah.
it's in the upper part.
Which
Okay.
one of the 13 heights is it closest by? Because when we went to John Carroll, we drove through, I don't know, how many heights is it close to? Do you know?
It's probably closest to Cleveland Heights.
Cleveland
go.
Heights. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the 13, because we didn't have much to do down there, so we started counting all the heights up. All right, Lucas, tell us what position, or no, you're from there. What position do you play for the Warhawks?
I play defensive end.
Defensive end. And you played there for a few years now, just like your predecessors that have been here before. You wear number 17. Do that one. Why do you wear 17 on the defensive line?
It was my mom's favorite number for some reason, then slowly became my favorite number, and it kind of just stuck. Couldn't wear it in high school because I played some O-line, but once I got here and was able to wear whatever number I wanted,
You got back 17.
yeah, I got back to 17.
Because in high school, you'd have to have a number between 50 and 79 in order to play the offensive line.
Correct.
So you went back to 17 when you got to Whitewater. That's exciting. Okay. All right. Tell us about your family back in Chesterland, Ohio.
Get right up on that microphone.
Be louder.
There you go.
Pretend you're yelling at a kid in a wrestling match.
I got my mom and my dad. And
Names.
then Shane Sadler and Emily Sadler. I got my grandparents too. Tom Sadler and Karen Sadler, and then my grandparents in Pittsburgh, Mary Meduno and Bill Meduno.
Okay. No brothers or sisters, so you're an only child.
I got a stepsister who I basically call my sister.
All
She's
right.
at Penn State.
Yeah, that's I remember because your mom was talking about going to watch her at Penn State.
yeah.
Too. Wow. Well, I'd say the draw would be to come to UW-Whitewater. Why would you want to go to Penn State? How far away is that from Chesterland, Ohio? Do they drive or they fly?
They drive. I think it's about 4 or 5.5 hours.
So a little
4 hours and
shorter
45
than here or longer
Yeah,
than here?
a little shorter.
A little
than here.
shorter. Okay. It's hard to believe you're closer, or they're a closer drive. Okay, good. It says Pap. I want to know, is that your role model is Pap? Is that what you call your grandfather, or is that what you call your dad?
Yeah, that's what my dad's grandpa's name or dad's father's name is.
Okay, so he's your role model because
I mean, he's kind of just, he's the hardest worker I know. He's kind of built me up to be the man I am.
beautiful.
Obviously with the help of my parents, but I mean, he's just kind of been a guy in my life who I've looked up to and can't thank him enough for it.
Outstanding. Tell the listening public what sports you played in Chesterland, Ohio.
Played football. I played baseball for 2 years until COVID, and then I was a wrestler for my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Okay, and it says you're a two-time All-State in high school. What does that mean? Which sport?
Football.
Okay, you're a two-time All-State, and in Ohio, do they pick one per division? Do they pick an All-State team that covers the whole thing? How do they do it?
They do 3, and then an honorable mention. I was 3rd team my junior year, and then I was 1st team my senior year.
Okay, all right, that's outstanding. So that would lead us to, how did you, from Chesterland, Ohio, find UW-Whitewater?
I mean, it's kind of thanks to my dad. I actually didn't really know what Whitewater was at first, and then he kind of knew a lot about it. And
Because he knew somebody or he had heard about
no,
us? Or?
it's just they competed against Mount Union for countless years.
Who?
Mount Union.
I have never heard of them.
I mean,
I'll have to look that up. Go ahead.
they were my like number one spot, going out of senior year, and then I came up here and instantly fell in love with Whitewater instead. And I called Mount Union and told them I'm not coming there. I'm picking Whitewater. That was a weird conversation to have with their.
I'll
head
bet it
coach.
was. They did not want to hear that.
No, they did not. They were not happy. But
oh gosh,
I picked the right spot, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And I can't thank my dad enough for bringing me up here on that visit. So, yeah.
That's pretty remarkable. I mean, that your father could do that research and go, especially because we had played some national championships, so we're on TV, so that would be part of it. Wow, good for your father. I got to give him an attaboy the next time I see him in the parking lot. Okay, what is your major at UW-Whitewater?
I'm a criminology major.
And what do you aspire you're going to do with that?
I'm probably going to end up being a cop somewhere in Milwaukee, staying up here close around my buddies and my girlfriend and kind of the.
How'd you pick Milwaukee? Why not Madison? Why not? Is she from Milwaukee?
She's from up in Milwaukee.
Yeah, enough said right there. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, it kind of speaks for itself.
End of conversation. All right. And what do you, with criminology now, you'd go in as an officer and then work your way. Yeah, you got to go to the academy and get in, and then you could work your way up a little bit. You're hoping, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Okay. Yeah, I can see you at a crime scene picking up every tidbit of evidence. That's a little scary, Lucas, but you would be professional enough to do it. All right. Consistently. Lucas Sadler, what did you put on your resume that your teammates thought this would be a good guy for us, for a candidate for captaincy of our team?
Big thing I think I put on there was talking about love and the love that I've learned from countless other leaders in this program, like Kyle Gallagher, my freshman year, Reed Farrington, Matt Burba, Cole Yoakum, guys like that, Hawk Hefner, Thomas Wojnarowski. I could go on forever.
Right. You've had a lot of good guys. There's no doubt about that.
I've learned so many things from them, and I can't thank them enough for what they taught me and how they've taught me how to be a leader. And I love those guys, and kind of just bring it to the younger guys.
Right. You kind of feel, we talked about this at the presser there last week about you guys all kind of feel like you have to pay back because you've learned from some of the best people at Whitewater. Now you want to do the same thing for those underlings. And
100%.
I think going to all four of you, if you can get them to play like you four do, I think we'll have a lot of success in the future. Pleasure talking to you again, Lucas.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. That's one of your captains from UW-Whitewater, Lucas Sadler. All right, our final captain that we're going to be introduced to is Carter Sessa. Come on up, Carter. I believe this is another first-timer, Coach?
I believe it is.
Okay. Ever been up here before? All right, that away. He's scared, Coach. Yes.
We had the pregame meeting. He's
frightened.
not scared.
He's a pretty scary guy. Try playing for him.
That I am. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you
the right
are.
one. All right, Carter Sessa. Where are you from?
I'm from Naperville, Illinois.
And what high school did you go to?
Nequa Valley.
Say it again.
Nequa Valley High School.
Nequa Valley High School. So that's one in Naperville?
Yep, one of the many.
How big is that?
1,000 people in my graduating class as well. So 4,000 total.
Okay, that's a pretty gigantic high school.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
Tell us about what other sports did you play when you were going to this school in Naperville, Illinois?
I played football and lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
Yes, sir.
Hitting people with a stick. What a concept.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
What in Illinois, that's a regular not W, but IAA sport?
Yeah, it's definitely something on the uprise, but I'd say it's bigger on the East Coast. But there's definitely an upbringing of lacrosse.
Making its way into here.
For sure.
And I don't know any positions, Carter. So tell me, are there people that just play defense and people that play offense? And obviously you have a goalie.
Yeah.
What did you play?
I was on the defense side. Personally, my stick skills were not the best, but I could play some defense and get some ground balls.
You could use your stick for the right purposes.
Exactly. Lay some lumber on people.
You sound like my kind of lacrosse player. It's always kind of scary when I see those things because it's like I don't understand it. There's a lot going on there that I don't, but it's kind of cool because obviously it's another sport and gives another whole bunch of kids a chance to participate.
Exactly. Same time as baseball. So
it is.
Yep.
Was that a tough call? Did you used to be a baseball player? Or?
Yeah, back in the day, I played baseball, but was not for me. Kind of shied away from it.
It has to be incredibly competitive to make a varsity team at a school with 4,000 kids.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's like 3 JV teams, like A, B, and C. So I definitely, in like 6th grade, I made my way over to lacrosse.
Right. In lacrosse, was there different levels also? Was there a varsity and a JV and a freshman? Or?
Yeah, yes, there was. JV, A, and B team, and then a varsity team. So that's like I said, it's definitely on the upcoming with more people trying out and everything. But
yeah, because it's around here. We did a high school game at Sun Prairie 2 weeks ago, and they have the whole thing set up for lacrosse too. It's like, what are all those lines down there?
Yeah, right.
Still trying to figure out soccer, let alone all
right.
That's a big field. I mean, lacrosse is bigger than football, right?
It's the same amount, but I mean, you're running corner to corner all over the place, so it's definitely a big.
I'll have to go sometime and just watch one so I can look like I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to people about lacrosse. Good for you. All right, tell us about your family in Naperville.
So I got my mom and dad. And I got a brother who lives in Chicago, and my older brother lives in Chicago.
Names.
Andrew. Got Andrew and Stephanie are my mom and dad, and then my brother Andrew Jr. He lives in Chicago, and my sister Amanda, she lives in Florida.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're the last one?
Yep, I'm the youngest.
Did the other 2 come to Whitewater too? Where did they go to school?
Nope, my brother went to Iowa, and my sister went to Kentucky. Yep. So my brother's 5 years older than me, and my sister's 2 years older than me.
All right. So one goes to Iowa, and the other one goes to Kentucky, and then you drop in. I think I want to go to UW-Whitewater. How did that go at the home front?
They loved it. They supported it. I mean, once I got here, it's kind of the people that brought me to this place. I really had some good connections coming in, just with my visits and everything, and yeah, meeting the right people. Got a great school. So
they were cool with that. They wanted. I'm sure they want you to get an education, which you're going to get here, but people don't know that.
Yeah.
When you're looking around in Naperville, you're going, oh, wow, Whitewater. I don't know about that.
This is a great place.
Was there somebody who went to your high school that came here, or how did you get a hook into here?
No, kind of just the coaches reaching out to me. I didn't really know much about Whitewater to begin with coming out.
Okay.
But made some pretty good relationships with the coaches and the players and everything. Patrick Lippe reached out to me freshman year, looking to be my roommate. So we've been together for 4 years.
That's funny.
As roommates.
Lippe didn't bring that up. All right. Point for Sessa, minus for Lippe. Okay. And please tell me you're still roommates now, or?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yes, sir.
So that must be.
Sir.
That's good.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have wanted to come to a nasty end, because that would have made going to practice a little bit uncomfortable.
No kidding.
Okay. You kind of hit on it already, but you came to UW-Whitewater because of?
Yeah, I mean, football, but obviously school first and everything. I'm a psychology major with minor in entrepreneurship. So looking to really get into human resources, like working with people, sales and everything. So yeah, we'll see where that goes when the time comes.
Are you hoping to go work for a company in that department and help people solve their problems?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I'd like to start my own company one day. I guess, like you said, find flaws in companies and make it more efficient and everything.
Yeah.
So I like
you're like an efficiency guy too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to be productive and efficient with my time.
Okay. Do I have 2 years now, or can I wait till the end? Oh boy, the producer's bossing me around here. Okay. What's your major?
Psychology, minor in entrepreneurship.
What's entrepreneurship mean in understandable English? You're going to start a business.
Yes. Potentially start a business. Still trying to think of the idea to start the business, but hopefully it'll come one day.
In psychology, or start a business someplace else?
Yeah, wherever that field is.
All right.
The human behavior is kind of with the psychology, so just understand that and everything, and maybe starting a business with somewhere in there.
All right. This says all gas, no brakes. I can't wait to see you play on Saturday. Okay, you're left-handed. Is that going to make you more capable of confusing the quarterback? Like he's going to throw it over there thinking, I'm going to zoom this right by him, and you're just going to stick that appendage out.
Yeah, little does he know I got my left hand. It was my dominant hand. So
let's keep it quiet. We won't tell everybody. All right, I'm dying to do this one, and I haven't done everybody's, and I might get you again. But in high school, it says you worked with special spaces, nonprofit, and children.
Yep.
What's that mean?
Yeah, so Special Spaces is a nonprofit organization, and it was started up by one of my family friends, and it's just raising money for kids with cancer. So we go into their home and we completely remodel their bedroom and everything. So it's a great cause, and
Who's we?
Just the whole program. So I mean, I did it for one of my high school coaches. Actually, he had a daughter who had brain cancer. So we, as a football team, actually went into his house and completely remodeled her bedroom, and then she came home, and to a big surprise. So it's like a great cause, and just put smiles on their
hair is
faces.
standing up on my neck. That is so cool.
Yeah.
All right, so when you have something like that in your pocket, you go to people and say, "This is what I did."
Yeah.
When we were there, were there a lot of your football guys that did this also, or were you about the only one?
No, yeah, it was the whole team.
Everybody worked on
Yeah,
this.
the whole team. I mean, it's all over like Naperville. That's where like
Who
it's
threw it
started.
in? Was there somebody on the football staff that was involved? You said the one guy had a daughter, but
Yeah, I mean, my mom also like works with them as well. So it's kind of just like a full picture of all that. And like I said, my coach. So it's kind of something that just came into the picture. Be like, this would be a great idea to help him out and everything. And just to see the smile on the kid's
man.
face is awesome.
I don't want to
So,
break into tears because the television's on me. So we're going to
Right.
move on quickly. Okay. What was on your resume that got your teammates to vote for you as a captain of this team?
Big thing for me, I would say, is accountability. Like some of the guys said before, just showing up in the weight room and on and off the field and supporting others wherever that is, whether it's in the dining hall, because for freshmen it can be a little scary coming in and everything, and having a hand there for them, I think is a big thing. So I think that's a big thing, is accountability for them, and just having a hand there. And
something as minor as sitting down and eating lunch with them makes
exactly
them feel
makes
more
a huge difference.
Yeah, because you're sitting there all by yourself going, I'm not
Right.
sure I like this place.
Right.
And then you come over and it's like, hey,
Exactly.
how are you? Who are
Yeah,
you? And
exactly.
you
Just
start
small talk, even just get them more comfortable and acclimated with the program.
Well, it has been good to talk to all four of you fellas, Carter, but I knew the least about you, and I have certainly enjoyed getting to know you. Looking forward to how Saturday goes and the rest of the year. I hope I get a chance to talk to you at another one of these later on.
Yes, sir. Me
All right,
as well.
thanks, Carter.
Thank you.
Carter Sessa, one of your other team captains. All four of our team captains, Ethan Gallagher, Patrick Lippe, Lucas Sadler, and Carter Sessa. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming up. All right, we'll get Coach Rindahl back up here. We'll talk a little bit about this year's roster for the
Goodbye, Coach. I'm sorry.
2025 Warhawks, and then talk a little bit about Carleton. All right, Coach, one of the things that you and I, when we have our pregame interview during the week, is a phrase that you like to bring up is the standard is the standard. Last year, I would imagine that is probably not, your team didn't live up to that phrase. When you say that, is that winning conference championships? Is it winning national championships? Is it just being the best version of the player that you know they can be on Saturdays? Explain that phrase and how it's going to apply this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the standard is really about your daily habits and how you go about things day in and day out. It's, showing up to practice with a good attitude and putting the effort in, and nobody questions whether you're competing or if you're giving it your all. I think it doesn't really revolve around results or outcomes.
Okay.
It's more about the behaviors that you live and the consistency in which you do it. The standard is you're going to be a well-coached football team. You're going to be clean and crisp. You're going to run on and off the field. You're going to have 11 guys on the field. You're going to care about the details of, signaling personnel or hand signaling personnel on defense, or having your toes behind the line on the sidelines. The toughness piece is whether the scoreboard's up or the scoreboard's down, you're still playing as hard as you can to the echo of the whistle. You're not wavering or changing your behavior because of a situation, circumstance, or maybe other person, right? You're going to go about it the right way, and that's the standard is the standard.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about this year's team. I know the 2 deep is going to be released here shortly. You're going to put the roster up on the website. There's been a lot of talk in the offseason about the quarterback position. You had a couple of incoming transfers. You had a couple of guys left over from the roster last year on the team. Have you decided on who's going to be trotted out there week 1 under center or in back of the center taking the snaps?
We haven't made that decision officially yet, but we're going to play 2 quarterbacks. We're going to play Justin Klinkner and Aiden Lucero. They both came out of fall camp and separated themselves, and they both bring a little bit different, but they at the same time got a lot of similarities. So I think Coach Murphy really feels good about them in his offense and our offense, and excited to give them both opportunities on Saturdays when the lights are the brightest to see who can, continue to maybe separate themselves, but who can continue to lead that offense.
Well, we got a lot of guys coming back at running back. Brian Stanton touched the ball. Ty Schultz, we saw a little bit of. You're going to mix in Cole Berghorn, Noah Battles in there as well. You got some guys back in the receiver room as well, some pretty explosive guys, including one of your captains. Nolan Hawk has played at tight end quite a few snaps. And then you got a lot of guys coming back on that offensive line that have been in the program. And I know you were looking forward to taking a step forward with that group last year. Maybe that didn't happen as much as you were hoping. Or are you looking to take a step forward? I mean, you got a lot of familiar names coming back on this offensive side with a new coordinator.
A lot of experience. You're starting up front. I think we got 8 guys that could probably play at a lot of schools at this level. So, that gives you confidence. 2 centers right now battling it out there, Aaron Johnson and Mason McNeil. Your guards would be Alex Pedon and Evan Olberg, who've been starting since their sophomore year. Then at tackle, Jacob Seeger, Jaden Sutton, Colin Krezikowski, and Troy Dietzler, who have all, been in the program for this is second or third year, developed their bodies. I think they're probably a little bit more athletic than maybe what we've had at the tackle position a little bit over the last couple of years. So, but yeah, I mean, there's inexperience on that offense, but there's also some experience. And I think the offensive line needs to be our strength as we kick this thing off. And I think it should be.
All right, switching to the other side of the ball, Lucas obviously is leading the guys that have returned with the most experience, and we mentioned a lot of names on that D-line because you have a real heavy rotation to try and keep them fresh late in the game. We've said Noah Morris's name, we've said Jacob Simmons' name, Walker Powers, Ben Belowski, Carson Clausen. You lost a lot of experience, including the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. That's tough to replace, but you've got guys that up there that have been worked in for snaps. So again, a lot of guys that have seen the field at least.
Yeah, Lucas said, mentioned a few names, Mika Gutowski, Cole Yoakum, and Reed Farrington, who were all seniors last year, but suffered season-ending injuries early on in the year. So that opened up an opportunity for a lot of those other names that you let off. So our last 6 games last year, we only had 2 seniors on the defensive line, and that was Nemo and Burba. So a lot of experience and a lot of valuable reps took place last year. Looking forward to, the depth and the rotations. You got 3 seniors in that room with Braden Barrett, who I think is going to have a really big year, Lucas Sadler, and then Demetrius Walker. Demo transferred in maybe even 3 or 4 years ago, and he's been in our program, hasn't got a lot of reps, but he's been working, he's grinding, and looking forward to him in his senior year, taking another step. So, moving to the next position, right? You got Ethan Gallagher and then some younger guys around him. Carson Libby started probably 8 games last year. He's a large mammal, good athlete.
Special teams, man.
Special team. I mean, he's 6'3.5", 235, 230, somewhere in there. He's big. And Ethan, same size right next to him with Ethan. So to have 2 linebackers like that, the other 3 names to keep an eye on, Dom Barris, Jaden Fowler, and Brett Borum would be 3 linebackers that have done some good things in fall camp, and we'll definitely be playing some snaps on Saturdays.
Secondary going to be a strong situation for you, a strong group with Carter back there, and then also Paul Kim, who really, really impressed, and not just because we saw him in high school for 3 years, but he's a familiar name. You got KJ Sleets coming back. Devin Magley's going to see the field. We mentioned him at least last year. There's, again, a lot of familiar names too.
Devin Magley, Efren Ramirez, both safeties that haven't played a ton, but have played. And Efren played last year, or traveled last year as a true freshman. But they're really good football players, and looking forward to them getting their opportunity. And you guys, I think, are going to be pretty impressed with how they can play the safety position. Carter Sessa was probably our best corner last year until he broke his arm in the 3rd game of the season. Paul Kim started playing in the 3rd game of the season and ended up being our best corner as last year played out. So looking forward to those 2 to continue to step up. KJ Sleets has been playing for 3 years and started since the sophomore year, and he's a big body, embracing the competition and the depth that we have in that room. Tyson Harvey's coming back, who wasn't on the roster last year but played as a true freshman, and Tavy Crum, who's played the last 2 years sparingly at the cornerback position. So you got some depth, you got some competition. Jeremy Thomas is another name that we added this spring, who's played at Aurora, started last year as a safety there. So just looking forward to, some new faces a little bit at the safety room, a lot of familiar faces at the cornerbacker room, but we got our hands full. We're going to have some really good opponents coming up here, but I think everybody's ready for that challenge.
All right, we're close. We're in on the hour mark. We try to get in an hour. We'll run through the special teams. We'll talk about Carleton just briefly. Lost your kicker, lost your punter, so there's some turnover there, and people seem to figure out pretty quick that Tyler Vasey's really good at returning kickoffs, and they purposely designed it not to get him the ball. Talk about your kicker, your punter, and then how you're going to let Tyler get that ball and give it to him so he can try and give you guys some explosive plays in that game.
We'll have 3 kickers on our roster. We got Seth Adams, Dylan Tackett, and Ryan Liska. Oh, not Ryan Liska.
Oh, really?
Hunter Liska, alum. Sorry, or Liska. Shout out, 45 All-American linebacker.
Yeah. Not a bad guy to bring back.
So those 3 will be, working and competing. Seth's kind of got that leg up. We haven't made a decision on if Seth's going to do all 3 or not. Ideally, he doesn't. So we'll have to continue that competition this spring, and then this week. And then Tyler Vasey's a weapon that we want him touching the ball as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So we'll be very intentional with our scheme and using him to help our team.
All right, so that's the basic look at the roster for your 2025 two deep for the Warhawks. Talk about Carleton, the Knights, real quick. 5-5 last year overall, 4-4 in the in the MEAC. They have some good teams up there. St. John's, Bethel usually battling it out for that, but it's pretty deep. They have, and people that mention Carleton, they've gotten only 7 wins in their program in a season since 2008, but they've done that 3 out of the last 4 years. This seems like a team that's on the rise in that conference that's not named Bethel or St. John's.
Their head coach is Tom Durnell. Tom Durnell spent many years at River Falls as an assistant coach with John O'Grady and Kevin Bullis. Okay. He left there, was the head coach at Elmhurst. Then he left Elmhurst and went to Stevens Point, was the defensive coordinator for a handful of years before taking over as the head coach at Stevens Point. He left Stevens Point, went to Carleton. Carleton was the bottom of the conference for many years, and he turned that program around. As you just stated, he was 7-3 for 3 consecutive years. Mm-hmm. Last year, they did go 5-5, but they returned their quarterback and multiple skill guys on the offensive side of the ball. So they're going to be coached well. Right. They're going to be a smart, disciplined team, and we got to show up and play because Coach Durnell will have them ready to go.
It seems like they have their, like you mentioned, starting quarterback. I think it's maybe his 3rd year by looking at some previous statistics. They got their leading receiver back as well. And it doesn't look like they give up a whole lot of sacks, which means you probably could have your work cut out for you defensively. They like to throw the ball quite a bit.
4 out of 5 offensive linemen are back. Their offense is similar to River Falls a little bit. It's not as crazy pace tempo, but they'll run their system. I think there's 149 pass clips, and I was tagging that. And I always tip my cap to opponents when their film's easy to tag. I think out of 149 clips, only 7 of them you couldn't tag. You didn't know exactly what the concept was. So they are going to be well coached, and we'll have our hands full.
Well, they have their 3rd leading tackler back, their leader in sacks as well. When your team's on offense, what do you see from them defensively, being an old linebacker yourself?
Yeah, they're not as gap orientated, hit you in the face type defense that we are, but they do a good job with their athleticism and moving around up front. So they'll present some challenges there on defense. And good. Tom Durnell, again, a lot of familiarity in the league, and he's a defensive-minded guy, so he's going to be a dang good coach and have them prepared.
All right, anything else before we wrap it up there, Coach?
Let's have a year, huh?
Hey, I'm telling you what, I'm just soaking it all in over here. It's very exciting talking to those 4 and Coach and you. It's like, here we go. We're done waiting for this, and it's going to be here on Saturday. So
all right,
let's go.
Thanks, Coach.
We got a special group. Those seniors right there, those 4 guys as special captains, and I think everybody's going to be excited to see what we put on the field on Saturday.
All right, thanks to Rick's Eastside Pub and Grill for hosting this first edition of the Quarterback Club. Thank all you for coming, people watching on social media. This is Bill O'Leary. My name is Josh Goldberg. If you can't make it out to Perkins or watch the game, 105.9 The Hog on your radio dial and 105.9thehog.com. We'll talk to you on Saturday. Let's go Warhawks.
Did it work?
Did it?